I personally like to categorize my equations and graph things in different ways based upon the form the line is given to me. When it's in this y equals form, we're going to use the XY chart with any choices of x. Now later on we're going to change that. I won't use the y equals xy chart method. Later on we're going to use something known as y equals mx plus b, which is the slope-intercept form of a line. But for now we're going to say use the xy chart. When the line is in this standard form, graph using intercepts. Then in case number 3, which I haven't shown you, when you're missing a variable, let's say we have x is equal to 2. That's going to turn out being a vertical line with an x-intercept of 2. Now if you want a way to reason that out, if you thought of an xy chart, the rule is x is 2, no matter what y is, whether y is 0 or 1 or 10 million, doesn't matter, 2 will always be x. When you have a y equals, such as y equals 1, that will be a horizontal line with a y-intercept of 1, and you could say, if you wanted, the rule is always y is 1 no matter what x is. So if you have y equals to start the equation, go with the first method, an xy chart. If it's in standard form, then you're going to graph using intercepts. If you find that you only have x equals number or y equals number, that's when it's horizontal versus vertical, and you're on your own to figure out what method you want to use so you don't get these two mixed up. Some people say x equals, I'm going to have an x-intercept. Some people say y equals, I'm going to have a y-intercept. Other people just memorize it. Your call. Here we go. Graphing this number 6. I look at this and I see y equals. So what I want to do is I want to say, aha, my rule is going to be multiply by 1/2, and then after I've done that I want to add 3. Now when I go to create my XY chart here, instead of going 0, 1, 2, I want to go 0, 2, 4, because when I multiply by 1/2, then I'll still have whole numbers instead of creating fractions. It's easier to take even numbers and multiply them by 1/2. 1/2 of 0 is still 0. Adding 3, we get 3. 1/2 times 2 is 1, plus the 3 we get 4. And 1/2 times the 4 is 2, plus the 3 we get 5. So we have these points 0, 3, 2, 4, and 4, 5 right there, through which we can then draw our line. Okay, let's move on to another problem. Find the X and Y intercepts. Now this is not a graphing problem, but it is asking us to basically use that intercepts method. If we were to say, here's my XY chart, there's 0 for X and then 0 for Y, find the intercepts. That's exactly what we'd be doing. So let's let X be 0 first. 4 times 0 minus 7Y is 16. The 4 times 0 can be ignored. I really just have negative 7y equals 16. And dividing each side by negative 7, we get negative 16 sevenths. Negative 16 sevenths would then be the y-intercept. And then we'd let y be 0. We'd have 4x minus 7 times 0 equals 16. That gives us 4x equals 16. And x equals 4, and we would have the x-intercept. Notice that when x is 0, when x is 0, we get the y-intercept, and in this second case, when y is 0, we get the x-intercept.